What's up, everybody? Today's episode is called Is Poverty a Choice? Do you agree? Do we agree? Do we think so? Let's find out.
All right. Okay. So,
Has begun.
yeah, man. Season 2.
Season 2, my friend. It's been a long time coming.
Yo, for reals. It's been a while. It's been a long time. I'm sorry I haven't seen you guys in a while. I'd love to ask how you guys are doing. How's everybody doing? I'd like to just comment below. Tell us what you did that's cool this summer. Did you guys spend some good family time?
Yep.
I don't know if you saw this summer. I went to a couple of places. I went to Canada Wonderland and did a couple of beach activities and whatever. What were you up to? What did you do this summer?
Man, it was a crazy summer. Kids being active as they are in everything.
Yeah.
So special training camps for Elijah, who is starting high school, who just started high school.
Wow.
So we had football training camp for the high school, that's his concentration.
Yeah.
Rebecca, special training camp for cheerleading, that's her concentration. Jamal, a lot of dancing. And with that, I had a lot of performances. For those who don't know, I'm a host, I'm a producer, recording engineer, beat maker, and also a rapper. So everything in the arts I do, and I was booked this summer. So most of my summer was just shows, weddings, etc.
Yeah.
Loved it. It helped me build, helped me grow as an artist.
Okay.
Made a lot of contacts, the importance of networking,
Of course.
talking with people. And of course, even though we were offline, I was still talking about the podcast.
Yeah.
Making it known, or getting back. And small star in the corner, one of the main reasons it took us some time to get back to it is my car sucked. The suspension was messed up.
Really?
And every time I was on the road, I was praying for dear, really holding for dear life.
Wow.
And it made it hard for me to reach out and go to your place in Ottawa, so Montreal, Ottawa, knowing that I could have my car stall on me at any given time.
Yeah.
Fortunately, I have changed cars now.
Yeah.
I'm driving a Nissan Qashqai. If you're seeing this from the United States, you guys call it the Rogue Sport, because it seems you're not able to say Qashqai, or maybe you think it's Arab, one or the other. I don't know.
You call it Rogue Sport?
Rogue Sport.
That's interesting.
The UK calls it by the original name, Qashqai too. It's just in the States.
Just in the States. That's interesting.
Rogue Sport.
The US has to be different. They have to be
Exactly.
different.
So yeah, that's about it.
Well, congratulations on the new ride, by the way.
Thank you. Gracias.
Yeah. So, I would like to jump right into it. Love to catch up with you and talk about what activities we did. There's a couple of things that came up for me this summer, particularly as William turned 9, Eli turned 5. So my boys are growing, and the introduction of money is becoming something a lot more important in my house anyways, because the kids are starting to ask for things. Not necessarily activities and whatever, but just things. They want stuff, which is not something that I have a problem with per se. I mean, it's normal. Kids have certain desires. But two things, right? Number one, whenever William says, I need something, I cut him off right away. No, you don't need none of that stuff. You would like to, you would appreciate, you'd be happy if, right? I cut him off right away because, I am a stern believer that language becomes thought becomes action, and action becomes who you are. So I'm like, yo, Holmes, you're going to cut that off right now. I am not taking this little prince attitude. But the reality is the following, right? When my parents had me, I never felt like we were poor or whatever. It's not like I ever lacked anything. I was very much of a middle income family, right? It's not like I grew up in the mean streets of anything. Like I grew up I grew up in St. Hubert in a family bungalow. Now, mind you, in this bungalow, there were 5 kids, plus at times 2 of my cousins lived with us. And and then plus mom and dad, and then my mom had she had an elderly woman living with us as well. So it's a lot of people in one house, and it was a bungalow, like a regular, nothing fancy bungalow. Now, to my eyes, it felt absolutely normal. But in today's day and time, like a lot of people will go, oh, no, right? You need a ranch for that many people and whatever. So some of my friends looked at me like I was a lower middle class. I looked at myself like I was rich personally because there was a whole bunch of cars in front of my house.
Yeah.
I just
See, that's a funny take on it, right?
Yeah, but to me, like, listen, we got 4 cars, right? The thing is the 4 cars were my mom's car, my dad's car, Sandy's car, my older brother, and then we had a family car, which was like a 78 Econoline that was converted to be like a camper, if you will. The truth is, I felt like I had everything I wanted, and so just again perspective. My mom had she had an 87 Civic. Sandy had an 85 Civic, one green, one gray. My dad had a Tercel, like an 89 Tercel.
Yeah, my mom had a Tercel too.
Because those things are unkillable. And then, like I said, the family car was like a bigger truck. Whenever everybody had to go out, we would always take 2 cars, depending on who was coming. Sometimes Sandy would drive us or whatever. So, right, it was just to me, it was functional. And I was happy because in my mind, well, I have choice. And choice is better. More choice is better. So to me, rich, right? If anybody asks me, I'm like, I got 4 cars.
We rolling.
We rolling, baby. When my dad showed up with his 87 Tercel at the private school where I went in St. Bruno, right? And another kid shows up and his chauffeur is driving a S-Class Mercedes.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, it's a really big car, but you're alone in it. So that must suck, right? Again,
perspective.
Oblivious. That's just the perspective of a kid. So I thought I was rich. Turns out I wasn't poor, but I wasn't rich. But now, like if I look at my kids, I think they're absolutely rich. Like I don't care what you say. They have more toys than they could ever use. They go on trips all the time. Like, listen, my son was at a restaurant. Waitress asks him, "What do you want to eat?" And he goes, "Can I have some truffle fries, please, with a little bit of sea salt? And if you can just sprinkle a little bit of Parmesan, that would be great." That's like 7-year-old son. The waitress looks at him like, "Say what now?"
Say we got burgers.
You know what I mean? Like,
that's what we got. Burger.
You know what I mean? That's what happens when you travel with your kid and you take him to places where you like to experiment. So I mean, yeah, my son's a spoiled. Anyways, that's the conversation.
Let's keep it there.
Yeah, I love William, but sometimes so I guess where I'm going with this is, I have been very fortunate. I've been blessed in life. I've had a lot of very extravagant experiences. I've shared a lot of them with my children. As a result, they feel entitled to a lot of things. So is that a good thing to do or not? Should you expose them to the finer things in life?
Yeah.
Or should you make them struggle? You know what I mean? Like just a little bit of struggle. Just a little bit of struggle. Just a little bit of struggle. Like, just a spoonful. Just one spoonful.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. Because I mean, so... by the way, the same William, I'm building a deck in my yard. Yes, I know it's September. I'm building a deck in my yard, and I had to do a little bit of excavation. So I removed 2 yards of dirt. William shoveled. He moved the wheelbarrow. All right, and then I had to put 2 yards of gravel. And yes, my 9-year-old boy, he just turned 9, shoveled. You know what I mean? It wasn't like pretend work with a pretend shovel.
No, he was getting in.
He was getting it in. He actually helped. His help was valued, made me proud, and he didn't complain about it. He just did it. You know what I mean? Daddy needs your help. Come and help me. He helped. Right? Truffle fries, shoveling dirt.
There you
Truffle
go.
fries, shoveling dirt. So I don't really know. Like I don't really know where I stand on this. And your kids are much older I'm sure you've gone through the same types of things. So I'm like, what are you supposed to do? Are you supposed to just hand them things? Or are you supposed to be like, yo, you work, you get. You work, you get. Like,
and it's a timely question. It's a really a good time. Listen, okay, so 2 things.
Yeah.
You mentioned about your upbringing.
Yeah.
And the perspective, right?
Of course.
And I'm gonna add this. So I also was lucky enough to not be or feel poor, so to say. I also think I was middle class. Lucky because we lived in a triplex. So we owned the triplex. There's me, my mom, my brother upstairs. The apartment in the middle got my grandfather, my aunt, her husband, and my cousin. And downstairs there's my other aunt and her husband. So we've always been in the triplex. Already for me, this is like, we have 3 homes.
Yeah.
We have 3 levels,
Yeah.
you know? So it's like, oh yeah, all week we do our thing, but we often go downstairs. On Sunday, we all go eat as a family downstairs. So already there's a sense of, yeah, we're well off.
Yeah.
Even other kids on my street, they live in one of the apartments of the triplex. I have all 3. I have an awesome backyard, so it's super awesome. We also have 3 cars, right? My mom has a car, my aunt has a car, my uncle has a car. So there's 3 cars there. Always somebody available to
choice.
Give you a lift,
Yeah.
choice, whatever, whatnot. And that's where it gets fun. I've never had super expensive things.
Yeah.
I've always had everything I needed. But I didn't really want something expensive. I only found out that I was missing out when seeing other kids.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So growing up, after a while, I realized, wait, I have these friends that they always have the new Jordans.
Yeah.
You know, they have the awesome in clothes.
Yeah.
Like at the time, and I'm saying at the time, I realize how ironic it is because now it's back in fashion, but the Tommy Hilfiger shirts, Nautica coats, Calvin Klein jeans, like, you know, all these brands I didn't have. And I felt as if I was poor because some people were treating me like, oh, ¿cómo se te pasa? How come you don't have this? I didn't know. I had to. I remember when I got a Sega Master System, while other people had a Nintendo. Both systems were the same price, but the Nintendo was the more popular one. And yeah, my aunt, you know, went through the stores, couldn't find one that, you know,
She can find a Nintendo
for Christmas. The guy told her, hey, Sega is the same thing. Okay. She bought it. It was the same price. Now I'm here like, that's not this. There's no Punch Out on this. Right? There's no Mario on this. But it doesn't matter. I still play the games. I love it. But then other people think, oh, you don't have one. Well, I'm well off, but not well off enough that my aunt's going to be like, yeah, let's just put that to the side and go buy another system. To put on which TV? Right? So it doesn't make any sense. That made me for a while think, oh, maybe we're poor. It's quite the opposite. But it made me think, maybe, right? So fast forward, we're talking about our kids right now. Even though I do control them, I do keep spending to a certain level. I do think they're spoiled because they have way more than
we
ever had.
Yeah, for sure.
Ironically, I do know that my parents were still in a better situation financially.
Yeah.
So technically, I am poor. First of all, let's begin. Since I'm separated, so already that's 2 households. Automatically, we're already getting poorer by dividing the income in 2, right? So a lot of the money is going to stuff that are redundant. So there's already a problem here.
2 electrical bills.
Even though we're lucky enough, I'm saying lucky, but blessed enough that things are well with my ex. So we don't. There's fights that we don't have that I hear other people have that are nightmares. Like I've touched on it in past podcasts. No need to revisit. But in the end, it could be way worse.
Of course.
Anyhow, I try to control and always put how can I say, in perspective our financial situation. Not necessarily revealing where we're at. That's not the point. But make them realize when they're asking for something, there's a price. It's important right now, and I'm saying it's timely because my daughter has started work. She's been working for 2 months now. She worked all summer.
By the way, like, I'm sorry, I kind of need a second.
Yeah, you feel old now.
Baby Rebecca.
Yep.
baby.
My 14-year-old has started to work. She works in a restaurant. That's something, right?
Baby Rebecca. Like, I'm sorry, in my mind, she's still Baby Rebecca.
Yeah, I grew. My beard got grayer. So she's working. So that's an example when we're talking about money. So we have to teach her, okay, you're making your own money. You need to save. You have to be careful what you spend. And there's also a question of control because it's not because you work that you have exactly that you can do whatever you want with your money.
Yeah.
She hasn't done so. She hasn't said so. But I still reminded her, right? At any moment in time that she might feel as if like a little bit of entitlement.
Yeah.
Sometimes as a parent you need to back them down. Like
for sure.
Yo. Pump your brakes, kid. Like if you think, oh yeah, you have free money and I tell you I can't get this for you, no, it doesn't matter, I'm gonna get it. Hey.
You can't get that.
It's not as if you were paying for where you live.
Yeah.
I'm giving you a lift to go to work. There's cost. Do you want to start counting? Because then I could start charging you per my time.
Yeah.
Maybe you're gonna start taking an Uber. Right? Maybe. So you there's prices. There's a cost to everything. And then I have to go down to the boys because no, they don't work, but they also aspire to certain things, and I need to explain to them.
Yeah.
Look, Dad just got a new car. It's bigger. It's more expensive. It's for all of us to move around, to be at ease, comfortable. But gas, insurance, payments, there's a lot in this. When you randomly ask, can we go to McDonald's? McDonald's sounds, well, it's just McDonald's. Yes.
Yeah.
But one, it's not good for you. And then McDonald's for 4, and my kids, I don't know for yours, but me, they are ogres. They eat like crazy. Sometimes they're like, kids, just gonna take a Happy Meal. Let's start here. My kids have never eaten a Happy Meal.
Really?
Nope. Or if we bought a Happy Meal, because they wanted the toy, but there was some extras added to it. Anytime we went to the restaurant, it would say, let's say you go to a breakfast spot, and you're like, I'm gonna take the kids meal. The kids meal is gonna be a egg, right? And a couple of, if it's chicken, it's gonna be a drumstick. Me, it's gonna be, okay, I'm gonna take the kids meal. You're gonna add 2 eggs. You're gonna add sausage, and you gotta add. It's add. My kids, they're hungry. They don't eat just that. So the cost is crazy. And I have to remind them sometimes, hey, so you see, it's gonna cost us on something really cheap, like the cheapest. If we're just talking, like I just want like the menu valeur, like the really cheap, the value menu, which is like just 1 burger and the smallest of fries, okay? We're still getting out of this at $20. And then I turn around and I tell the kids, so you do realize like for $20, I buy the pack of like 25 drumsticks at Costco. Like we could be eating real food, right? And nobody's taking no toys, so there's no other reason, right? So always there's a scale, and I have to tell them, listen, if you spend here, this you can't get. And I do connect with what you say about giving them a little spoon of, I'm gonna call it despair. I don't know who was the comedian that said that, like, to make a good artist, make a good athlete, you gotta give him just a little bit of, and the art, I forgot who was saying it, was saying, that's why, it's good, you have to give props to the deadbeat dads. Because they're those deadbeat dads, they're making the LeBrons of the future and stuff like that. I was like, wow, that's exaggerated, but you get my point. You can't give them, like, the silver spoon thing when kids are spoiled, and I've seen a lot. I don't know for you. Like my kids have friends.
Yeah.
I see them, I want to smack up upside the head. It's crazy. And I always look at the kids like, dare try to act like these kids. Because they have no value for the money. They're used to having things in multiples.
Yeah.
They can break their iPhones as many times as possible. It's not a problem.
Gonna take care of it.
No, my kids, man, you break the phone, it's gonna take a while before I get back to you.
Yeah.
Rebecca broke her phone like twice in a row. And then I got her like the cheapest phone I could find, cheapest Android I could find. I said, you gotta chill with that one for a little while. Yeah. And she felt it. Oh, the camera sucks. Oh, this sucks. Like, cool, but like, that's the price to pay because I'm not about to put my money in the wind like that, burning money for no reason. Catch the point.
That's interesting. So teaching responsibility by, okay, but I mean, listen, William. Well, first off, he doesn't have a phone yet, nor is he close to having one. He walks to school. I am not about to give him a phone because he walks to school. In fact, where I live, I think I told you this before. The reason why I live where I live is because he can walk to school. That is like 95% of the reason why I chose that property. He can walk, and that means he doesn't. There's no. Listen, I can count the amount of time it takes to go from the school's door to my door, and it's not 5 minutes. So Holmes, you let off at 2:35. You better be home at 2:40.
Check on him.
Yeah, and he knows, and I drilled it enough onto him that he knows that there's like kids push on certain boundaries. William knows that time is something that I have zero flexibility on. Like
that's good.
And I've eventually William will watch this. I know for a fact that I've very much on purpose, overreacted to those things. Like I'll have a B fit. Like I'll have a fit.
Oh, I like that. Like
I'll have a fit. Like he sees me. Dad is usually cool and composed, and
he needs to know that this one is a.
This one's a no-no. This one's a no-no. 3 things: running on the street, just running off, whatever. Instant. There's no 1, 2, 3. No. It's like right away, instant. Being late, like that's the sledgehammer's coming down. There's no gavel. It's like a sledgehammer. Daddy's angry. You will lose all privileges for like a month. Like full on freak out. And so it's very funny because whenever William's like playing around with my brother or my mom, and they'll go, I'm calling your dad. Okay. Okay. Don't tell him about this. So I mean, yeah. So those are things that I'm kind of holding a lid on. But as far as money goes, like for example, my mom gave him for his birthday. My mom gave him money. My brother gave him money. My brother gave he's gotten a significant. Listen, a 9-year-old with over $100. Listen, Holmes, like that's a loot. I remember being a kid and 5 of us for Christmas got $20 each, right? And we had, at 5 of us, $100. Now, mind you, at that point, I was 6. My brother was, he was 15, right? So my 9-year-old son has over $100 by himself. Yeah. So to me, like that's a lot of money, and so.
It is.
Yeah, it's significant. Like it's not an insignificant amount of money, but at the same time, I'm always trying to. I'm using this, like I'm trying to use this as a teachable moment. I'm basically trying to put in some mathematics about it. I'll go to stores with him without him having the money. I'll like come to the store, look at certain things. Let's put gas in the car. Look at the price. Like I'm trying to bring some. I'm trying to make him understand what that money actually means in the real world, if you will, versus the world of toys and candies you actually care about. Yeah. Right. And just try to put some relativity. Like for example, we went to the restaurant. William was like, "Oh, I want this and that and this and that and this and that," and then I had the waiter print him a separate bill.
Oh.
I had the waiter give him a separate bill. He looked at the bill. He was like, "Well, that's all my money. That's all my money." I'm like, Holmes.
Yes.
Well, that second piece of chocolate cake you asked for, like really, homie? Like really, homie?
That's a good one. I like that. I think I want to pull that one up.
Yo, obviously I picked up the bill and didn't ask him.
No, but it's just to make them just look at it. Just look at it and realize.
Yeah.
I've had that happens often. That sometimes they're like, why don't we go to the restaurant, Dad? And like, look, right now I really don't have the money for it. And by the way, that's the way me and my ex are different.
Yeah.
Me and their mom are different in the sense of, okay, so I'll give you the example. If they have their allowance, or in the case of Rebecca, she's working and she has money. When their mom goes to Tim Hortons or Starbucks and goes to get her coffee, he wants an iced coffee, he wants donuts, Rebecca wants another drink, something, she'll pay for it. She'll pay for it. That's cool. Me, I might pay for it for the first one. If it's something that I plan.
Yeah, I know what you
If I planned for it,
I know exactly what you
we're
mean.
gonna go, listen guys, we're in a rush.
Yeah.
I don't want you guys fussing for something for breakfast. We're gonna go get something.
Yeah.
Of course I'm paying.
Yeah.
It was planned. I already planned that, okay, this weekend, this is gonna happen. Like, both of you guys have football games. There's a crossover time-wise, so time is limited. We're gonna grab something at this point. Cool.
Yeah.
But if I hear complaining in the back, or that somebody asks, oh, Dad, stop, I want you to go get this for me, then that's where the teachable moment begins. Because first of all, if I'm stopping for you to get something for yourself, so what about the squad? I hope that you're thinking about everybody else.
Yeah.
And now that I've told you to think about everybody else, do you have the funds for everybody else? Or you just have the funds for yourself? Because if I'm driving with you, okay, you're driving me somewhere, and I tell you, oh by the way, can you stop at Tim Hortons?
Yeah.
If I'm gonna stop at Tim Hortons and not offer, yo, do you want a coffee or something?
Yeah.
You have, this is an unwritten law. You have the right to just leave me here. No lie. Because I find that's shameless.
Yeah.
Dude, you're doing this something for me. The minimum I could do is either offer to give gas, and if we're not gonna play the gas game because you're my boy, of course I'm gonna bring you. Yeah. Then the minimum is, you want something, coffee, donuts, something. I should, unless I was in a situation of I'm broke and there's whatever. But in normal times that should happen. So they go, oh, so they think twice. Now once in a while, one of them was gonna say, oh, mommy, she would have paid. Yeah, okay. She's gonna pay, but she's gonna pay. She's going to Tim Hortons, and she goes to Tim Hortons 3 times a day. Yeah. So every time it's gonna cost. Then that thing, just the coffee run, quote unquote, it ends up costing $20 to $30
a pop. Yeah.
On every road trip. That's I find that a crazy amount. And if they say, well, it's not a huge amount, I go, okay, let's take that $30
out of your allowance
and see how you feel. You know what? Let me do better. We haven't gone to the movies in a while, right? Oh, let me just well, what do you know? That would have paid for the movies for everyone. Oof. Oof. That's thinking. Oof. My kid was always telling me, I had a crisis with Elijah once. He I don't know what he wanted, and I said no. And I said, listen, I just paid. I forgot what I paid for, but I paid for something like huge for him, maybe for school or whatever. And then he wanted one more thing, and then he complained about something like, yo, you had told me like on my birthday you gotta buy me I forgot the name of it, but it's something you put behind your phone. It's like a pop stand, and you never bought it, blah blah. And I went, hey, I stopped the car. I stopped the car. And I said, yo, listen, dog. And he knows when I start saying dog, we're gonna have a bad time. I said, dog, how much money did you get at your birthday? I said, where's that money? And then I told him where. They're gone. On chocolate, candy,
No.
Bubble gum.
Really?
That's where your ish went.
No.
You were going out every day. You're going to buy a little something, a little something, a little something.
And now money gone.
And then you don't have anything.
Yeah.
You wanted shoes, but you could have bought shoes. It's gone. And say your little popper thing, it was $12. You're telling me that during all this time there was no $12 in your hands? When we went to your friend's birthday and I paid for the gift, you could have paid for it with your money, my man. Did you? Oh, you didn't? Well, what do you know? Ain't that a shame? So I just want to be sure you're really going to complain about this? He had to shut up. He was pissed, but then he realized, like, shoot, I did have that money.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not money you worked for.
Yeah, it's a gift.
That's the problem. Maybe you need to work.
Okay. That's
Maybe
an
you need to
interesting idea.
work. And I have trouble, you tell me what you think. I have a bit of trouble giving allowance against home chores.
Yeah.
For a while, I was like, yeah, this is the way, because I just thought that's what I hear. That's what I see on TV.
Yeah.
For real, that's what I
have
see
your
on
allowance,
TV.
you have to do your
yeah,
bed, you have to-
if you didn't do your chores, because nobody, I'm going to be true with you, promise, if I was paid to do chores in my house, yo, I'd be doing them real quick.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, on the real, you tell me there's a new government subsidy that they're gonna give you, like it's called the clean house subsidy. You're tired of people looking like trash. They're gonna give you a check if you clean your house.
Yeah.
Mofo, I'd be cleaning that ish like, yo, like a butler. I'd be on it.
Yeah.
But I'm not paid for it, so I have to learn to do it for myself.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna pay you to brush your teeth. You need to do it for yourself. So I want that to be a separate thing. And giving you money is because I know you have things to do, especially now that Elijah's in high school.
Yeah.
Another place where they're losing their money. It's the first year that he has the choice of eating in the school or outside.
Yeah.
Right? So you'll give him a lunch.
Yeah.
He'll leave like, I don't feel. Let me go to McDonald's
Of course.
and go buy something. But yet, at the end of the week, you don't realize it. That's $50.
Yeah.
That's $50.
Yeah.
So unless you have money coming in regularly, aka you're working, you better start rationing that money, man.
Teaching them that kind of responsibility.
Responsibility,
But
right?
so to go back onto your comment, the idea of separating chores and allowance, I will offer William money to do things that are outside of his responsibilities.
Outside of that scope.
So, for example, when I ask him to help me with dishes after a party, so that he's had dinner already, we had company over, we made dinner, we made a mess. Can you please clean up for me? Let me give you $2, and it's not like an extraordinary amount of money.
No.
Let me give you $2. I'll give you $2 if you help out. It's not. This falls outside of his responsibility, and I don't say do the job for the $2. After he's done it, here's $2. Like a tip. Like I'm tipping.
Yeah.
Which my boys know me now. They know what to do for tips. They know how to work for tips, which is I don't know.
I like that. I like that. That's a good idea.
Yeah, because I mean, I don't want them to think that they can manipulate. Because William tried that for a while. He tried that for a while. Like, Daddy, come see my room. Come see my room. It's super clean. I did my bed. I folded all the clothes. It's all. I did Eli's clothes and my clothes. Put all the toys away. Everything's nice. Can I have $10? Like straight up. Like, can I have $10? Like what? And at first I would give, but at one point I was like, you know what, Holmes? I'll give you $2. I'll give you $2 per week, right? Because he doesn't have any expenses. He has nowhere to actually spend money.
Yeah.
It's just for him to, when we're at the store, instead of him going, I want this, 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 I
Put your
want this.
money
Like, okay, make a choice. You only got $2. And then he's like, next door, you used your money for that chocolate bar.
Yeah.
So, that's sort of my approach. I'm trying. To be honest with you, I have no idea what I'm doing, man. I'm just trying a whole bunch of stuff. I have no education or expertise on the subject. But it brings something else to mind, right? I don't know if it's true or not. I don't know if you saw that thing going around on the internet about this Liberal Party leader. What's his name? in the PQ, the Quebec Liberal Party leader. What's his name?
Oh yeah, he said
This guy that said poverty is a choice.
yeah.
Or
When I
something
when
like
I
that.
when I saw that,
Yeah.
I answered, "Oh well, I guess Kanye's right, and slavery is a choice." I put it there. No, what were we saying?
Savage.
I didn't follow. I lost interest.
Yeah.
I saw the people fighting us and fighting amongst each other.
Yeah.
First of all, I didn't check. I didn't check the facts on it.
Yeah.
How factual it was. I didn't check the context. If so, it was said. I didn't check the context of it. And the third thing is, seriously, I don't care because I know.
Okay.
I'm not.
Okay.
Is slavery is I'm gonna say slavery. Back to the Kanye.
Yeah.
Is
talk about
poverty
Kanye.
is a choice.
Yeah.
Look, if you mean by you had a choice in where you were gonna be born, live, what was gonna be the social economic situation, no. If you mean that
In the context, hold on. Let's frame this properly because I don't want to be destroyed in the comments here. Because I'll let you start on this, but I'll speak my mind on this too. In 2018, in Montreal, in Canada, period, but specifically in Quebec, right? In Montreal, in the greater Montreal area, I would tend to agree that opportunity is such here that you can make something. You might not become a billionaire, but if you're on the street, right, and you don't have you're able and sound of mind. Like, I'm sorry, but
it's important.
if you're able, because I mean, if you're disabled, it's a different story.
And
if
sound
you're
of
sound of
mind.
mind, I mean, if you're hearing voices telling you to spend your money at the casino, it's a different story, right? And I'm being facetious here, obviously on purpose, but you understand my point.
Yeah.
Sound of mind, if you're able and sound of mind, right? Which, is a good percentage of the population still. I don't think there's any reason for you to be struggling. Like, when I say struggling, I mean like struggling to live somewhere, struggling to put coals on your back, struggling to eat. Like, you shouldn't be struggling. You can have aspirations that are higher, of course, everybody does. You may want more, but to be like, I don't have anything to eat, poverty stricken, like.
I'm gonna go argue and say,
Yeah.
Here's my statement.
Yeah.
You're healthy.
Yeah.
You can work. Your sound of mind. What I say is, being unemployed is a choice.
Oh, okay.
For me, being unemployed, because here's where I make the distinction. You can make poor choices,
Yeah.
which then leads you to be poor.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not that being poor was a choice. It's that you made poor choices that got you there.
Okay.
You can become. Let me put it this way. Okay. I got Rebecca was born. I was I'm not gonna say super young, but relatively young.
Yeah.
Rula was young also. Government put us in a situation where I found out later on. Okay, it's like, I'm just gonna let me make that. When we went to the government, she obviously was not working. Baby is out. We gotta manage.
Yeah.
At the time, I had just lost my job.
Okay.
Baby's coming out. It's a crazy situation. Born on Christmas. Praying to God, how am I gonna deal with this?
Yeah.
Okay. Social services want to get involved and say, oh yeah, so how the way it works is, he has to pay, a certain amount of child support. But at the time, I was with her.
Yeah.
We're together. But no, it's a safety mechanism. It's just to make sure. I later found out they never do that kind of issue to anybody else.
Really?
Yeah, they said no, you're forced. That's how it works. Yeah, you have to pay.
Okay.
Right? You just have to pay. That's how they split. It's not true. If you decide that you don't want to You know, you don't have to. But they forced us. They said, oh, no, you have to sign out, and that's how it is. And I was like, that sounds weird, but I didn't check with anyone. Was young. I said, I guess that's the way it is. And the minute I got a job, government sends a letter to your job, your employer, and you know they take part of your salary off, and that's just it. But I'm like, well, it's fine because she'll get that money back.
Yeah,
it's going to her.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it wasn't going back to her.
Also.
So, yeah, let me frame it better to you. For my faith reasons, we were gonna get married. We knew we were getting married the following year. So I was purposely still living at my mom's.
Yeah.
She was living in her own place. I'm still going there, taking care, coming back. It's just that it's a decision we made, and I'm like, that's how it is. You can agree or not, it doesn't matter. But for them, it was like, well, we don't know. And since she's receiving help, even though she was always working, but you know, now the baby's out. No, I'm not working right now.
Maternity.
Right? Well, for them, it was like, okay, no. Well, since we're giving him money, but you know, we don't know, and so we're gonna take the money, and it's gonna go straight to her. For me, I don't care. It's gonna go straight to her, right?
Yeah.
But then she was not getting it. At some point, we're like, listen, like part of my salary is gone.
Yeah.
Okay. And she's not getting more, and we need to there's stuff we need to do.
Yeah.
And then I discover the government says, oh no, we're keeping the money because we think you're trying to do fraud. Yeah.
What?
And we're sure he's living there, and in reality, and then dude, if you want to feel like nothing in the way they treat you, these people, that's why. Parentheses, I have, when people say, people that are on welfare, they're trash, they're all people that want to profit from the system. Look, I was in a situation, it's the only time in my life that I ever needed chômage, what's chauffage and unemployment in my life, okay? It's the only time she's needed help for, you know, at that time. Never needed to use the system before. And that's how you treat me. And seriously, you might say, no, it's not a question of race. I was like, I've seen other people in similar situations. They were never forced. Or maybe they were simply aware that, no, that's not something, this is a scare tactic and you can complain, right? By the time we've resolved this and fought with the system, I was indebted. I was super indebted. I'm in negative. You know, half my pay is leaving my pockets. She's not receiving more. They're holding the money. She has to she has to find a job under the table to try to even make it. Now we have to pay somebody to keep the child in the meantime. It's crap. It's awful. And that situation, dude, I'm poor. See? Now, poor choices. Maybe I should have searched for more counsel. I should have been more educated on the system. I should have been. We could talk all that stuff, but my desire was to work.
But Gino, hold on.
You see?
Hold on. No matter how crappy your situation was, you were not penniless, naked, and on the street.
But I could have.
No, you weren't.
But I could have. Let's look at this. Okay, I had a system. I had a family, a support system. I had people that could help me out. Would I have been able to find a way? Most probably because of but that's why I make a distinction between being unemployed. That's your choice. Because I could have, you know what I could have done? I could have been like, this is unfair, and I'm not even working, and be like, I want to stick around with the unemployment as long as possible. Because let's again make a distinction. Unemployment is my right.
No, you paid for it.
I paid for it.
It's just
if I decided to chill for the year, I can chill. That's my money. I quote unquote put aside. Okay, you contribute. That's my ish. Okay. Yeah. To tell you the truth, because of the whole situation, when I lost my job, I went out and found just any job that was paying way less than what I had, just so I could have something, which technically is not even logical because I was getting more by not working, right? So what's up with that? But that's how much I was driven to no, I need to work, I need to find something. So most people, guys, you can work, okay? Bible even says, yo, the man that does not work shouldn't even eat.
Whoa.
Facts.
Whoa.
Yo, go eat. That's one thing I have zero tolerance on when I see a dude that's like, can't work, can find. No, let me put it this way: is that there's just no job. Yo.
Yeah, there's a job.
Yo, there's people that move to remote places
Yeah.
to do work
Yeah.
because there's work in remote places. Okay, so if there's a Tim Horton in the corner, yo, there's a place to work.
Absolutely.
And that's putting aside anything you could grind by yourself.
Yeah.
I'll even go further. It's not a good choice. It's not something that I suggest. But the person hustling or slaying dope in the corner, just know something.
Yeah.
Watch where I'm going at.
Yeah.
That dude is not lazy. Selling drugs is not a lazy job.
It's hard work.
It's actually work. People have this image, you just chilling here. Yo, I have friends that I've known that have been through that world.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. They were outside on a daily. There's a reason why certain women are attracted to this, because these guys, no matter what, they have the I'm gonna go get it mentality, which is good. That's why a lot of people that's gone through that world are able to switch it. You have Jay-Z's of this world that worked their skills at doing this, because flipping things, hustling, that's a talent. That's a gift. And that's a good thing to have. Now, if you're home and all you're doing is watching TV, playing PlayStation, my first question is going to be, how did you pay for that PlayStation? If you didn't pay with money in your pockets, well, we have a problem. Maybe you should go work. But I won't go to say poverty is simply a choice.
Perhaps my definition of poverty is not what you have in mind, right? Because there's being broke and there's being poor.
Oh, that who is it? I'm not sure if you posted something like this at some point. We were saying if your bills are paid, you eat every day. Blah blah. You have a roof. But you just don't have any loose money in your pockets right now.
Poor.
You're not poor.
You're just
broke. You're broke. You're not
broke.
poor.
That's all. It's a temporary situation.
You paid this stuff. It's paid paycheck to paycheck, but you're still above water.
Poor to me is when, one, you spend more than you make, because that's a situation that's, I don't want to say irreversible, but you're going down the hill. It's just a matter of time until the water catches up to you. And eventually you're underwater. Like, there's absolutely nothing you can do. If bankruptcy is your only option, which, by the way, it is an option.
And there should be any shame to that.
Some situations happen. You have to declare bankruptcy. Shit happens. I'm not saying that should be your first goal.
No.
Because some people, anyways, that's a different conversation. But being broke and being poor are two very different things. To me, poor is you ain't got it, you ain't getting it, and unless somebody gives it, you will have nothing. Nothing to your name. Nothing. You have you don't know where your next meal is gonna come from. You don't know where you're gonna sleep. If again you have bad luck, stuff happens. And I say bad luck, like a series of bad circumstances happen.
Unfortunate events.
A series of unfortunate events hits you, and then you're found in a place where you lose more than you have. Then stuff happens. But in this province, in this city, there's so many resources. There are so many resources to find a meal, to find a place to sleep, to put clothes on your back.
I have to agree with you. The best example I can think about is my father-in-law. The guy came from another country. Okay. Comes from Lebanon. Moves here with his whole family. Family is wife, 4 kids. Okay, so it's not just 1, 2, it's just
4.
Right? And to come here, and I'm saying that because a lot of people have think automatically if you're an immigrant, you're a refugee. And these are 2 different things. Okay?
Really? People
it's not of course. Because every time somebody comes in from another country, they seem to think they come for a handout.
Really?
Yo, mofo, we bringing money up in this spot.
Really? People think that?
Okay,
so if you've ever heard this, please write it in a comment. I would love to understand where that idea comes from.
It's just people have this image
Yeah.
that as soon as you come from another country,
Really?
you came here because like, oh shoot, lucky for us, we let them in. If it wasn't for that, what, dude, it's as if people forgot that people here, the community,
Yeah.
is diverse in Montreal because people come from elsewhere
Yeah.
and they brought things with them.
Okay, so let me stop it right there because I think I need to. So if it's not common knowledge, and again, I'm somebody that spends an inordinate amount of time reading, so I happen to have
spit the truth.
Yeah. So in the great expansion of this province and of this country in general, the government, the various governments, Quebec specifically, but the various governments went out. Right? And when you hear about embassies, by the way, they're marketing departments, in case you weren't aware. Their job is to market. So they went out into the world and they went seeking professionals from a variety of different fields. They went to seek out nurses, doctors, university professors, engineers, right? Because there were so many projects and not enough people to do them. And in the pursuit of French-speaking people, specifically for this province, specifically for Quebec, in the pursuit of French-speaking people, where do you think they went? Where do you think the mass of French-speaking people are? Mostly in Africa. So a lot of the people that came to this country in the early to late 70s, a lot of them were professionals with great degrees, and they came here because the government sought them out and said, hey, come, you will have a job in hospital, in industry. Hydro-Quebec hired a whole bunch of them. A variety of hospitals hired a whole bunch of them. Universities hired a whole bunch of them because they needed that expertise. There was a big wave of Egyptians. There was a big wave of a bunch of different African countries, Nigerians, Ivorians, like a lot of them, a lot of West Indian people. If you live in Montreal and you've been to a hospital, you've probably seen a Haitian nurse at one point in time, and guess why they're here? It's not because they threw a dart on a map and decided. No, they were literally invited by various government programs to say, hey, if you come here, you'll have work. Right now, they switched the program and they've basically given an equivalency in France, and they basically, if you're from France, we'll recognize your studies. You can come here and we'll recognize your studies. All you have to do is get recertified from the board. I have a friend of mine that worked at McGill, Fatim. I don't know if you ever met Fatim. No. Anyways, Fatim worked at McGill, and her job specifically was working with the new coming doctors and working on their equivalencies. Whatever classes you're missing, whatever, recognize the various credits you have, and then get certified by the Royal College of Physicians, which, by the way, the Royal College of Physicians in Canada is like one of the top ones in the world. It's recognized all over because of
know that.
Yeah. So much so that they export that expertise. The exams that they do here are recognized everywhere. I was gonna be pulled into something else, but yeah, the reason why a lot of immigrants came to Canada, a lot, not some, just like a massive amount, accountants, engineers, doctors, nurses, a lot of them came here in the 70s during the great expansion of Quebec after the La Révolution Tranquille, if you remember that term, when they decided to privatize electricity, when they decided to build all those super hospitals, where they decided to create all those super universities, when CEGEPs were getting built. All of that stuff, while that was happening, they did not have the French-speaking labor force that they needed, so they went around the world and hired them. So again, like, to me, this is common knowledge because I've heard so many of those stories. I know so many of those people.
Dude, it is not. It is not. People seem to think the minute you come from somewhere else.
Yeah, you came as a migrant?
You came as a migrant, a refugee, and these questions came back to the surface when the recent wave of refugees we've had, whether Syrian or Haitians, right? As if it's, and I don't want to put shame and separating them and saying, yo, these are the bad ones. That's not the point. These titles and the reason for them coming, there's a reason this is there. We want to help, and okay, cool.
I feel like I have to do another public service announcement because if you've never heard this before, the term illegal illegal migrant, illegal refugee. That's not a real thing. There's no such thing as illegal alien. There are legal borders, but the reality is if you decide, okay, so if you are, there's a treaty between Canada, U.S., and Mexico. If your asylum request is rejected by the United States, by somebody that's part of this treaty, the border agents are not legally allowed to take your asylum request because somebody else rejected you. Not allowed to come in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if they cross the border, if they go to the regular border, they will be rejected. Not maybe, no if, buts, or maybe. They will be rejected. So what people do to get around that law, there's a loophole, right? As most laws do, is if they don't cross at a regular border point, what happens is they call the cops. They will straight up call the cops and go, "Hi, I have crossed into your borders and I am asking for asylum." Because they're not asking the border, but asking the police instead. The police will detain them, not arrest them. They will detain them. Mm-hmm. They will take them to a processing center. And now, because of our antiquated laws, they have to pass before a judge. Mm-hmm. And the judge has to be able to communicate with them in the language of their choice, and that has to be recorded, and the judge has to render a decision.
Bureaucracy, paperwork.
Yeah. The bureaucracy is such that, by the way, in some places in Canada, the backlog is 5 years. So I mean, it has absolutely nothing to do. It's not illegal. That term is false. That's just not a thing. It's just not a thing. The illegal. No, if you've been rejected. Mm-hmm. Right? If your asylum request or if your residency request has been rejected and the government has asked you to leave and you did not leave, that puts you in an illegal situation. Mm-hmm. Because you asked and you were rejected.
Said no.
If you have a visa and your visa has expired,
you gotta go.
That's illegal.
Gots to go.
But the fact of illegal immigration, that's just not a thing. Never been, never will be. Sorry. Had to get that off my chest.
So back to what we were saying.
Yes.
There's still a distinction. There is a nuance.
Yeah.
There's people that come in this way.
Yeah.
There's plenty of people that come as a choice.
Mm-hmm.
Father-in-law, he came as a choice. He went to the States. He went to Australia. Checked it out. Said no. Yeah. There's a. I did not know that before, but there is a big population of Lebanese people in Australia.
Yeah.
So, but he came to Canada, like Canada. He wanted something in French, Quebec, and he came here. Now, when he came...
By choice.
Which requires a lot of money.
Yeah.
You and your whole family.
Yeah.
Everybody comes down. Then you have to get accustomed to the place. And you have to find work. And he worked. And he worked. And he worked enough that afterwards he's like, yo, that plus the money I have, let me open a restaurant with somebody else that I know. That person did some bad deals, some bad stuff.
Really?
Things crumbled. He had to shut it down, go back to working in a little shop. You know? Yeah. When you've been your own boss and you have to work under somebody, that's hard. He could have said, you know what? Hey, I'm resident here. Laws are here and systems are in place for me to just be able to just sit down, think about a way of, he did not take a break. He said, I have to do whatever I can to work and feed my family. And he went to work, grind. Listen, lots of ups and downs. Mm-hmm. But dude, he's making the money he needs. He fed everyone. Mm-hmm. Everyone went to school. Like, he covered for everyone. Mm-hmm. All right? So for me, I respect him a lot. And I look forward to him a lot because he's learned and he's given that knowledge. He's passed it down to his family. I've been lucky enough that he's passed that to me too. So now I put things in perspective. That's somebody that came from the outside and came with a slew of people. I see some people here saying I'm broke or I'm poor. They got no kids. You're on your own, just living off welfare. Be like, yo, I just don't know how I'm gonna make it. Nah, I have no mercy for this. You need to have a really good reason for you to tell me, yo, I just can't. Like you said, physically or whatever, if you're disabled, mentally or physically, I can understand. But a lot of people, and I've worked, again, don't want to just throw credentials here, but like I do this work on the street.
Yeah.
I have had to deal for years with people that I know are on the street.
Yeah, yeah.
And not a lot of them are on the street because, well, unfortunate events.
Yeah, yeah.
Some of them really are living on the street because they want to.
Yeah. That's
And it doesn't mean we should not give them any help. It doesn't mean we shouldn't put facilities and things open to help them.
Yeah.
That's beside the point. I'm just saying that a lot of this can be changed. A lot of them also do have mental issues.
Yeah.
That's a proven thing. That's why sometimes you see certain altercations with the cops outside, and they do things that are horrendous to homeless people. So I don't want to just go outside. Don't give any money to homeless people. It's their choice. Don't help them out. It's their choice. No, that's not what we're saying.
No.
That's not what I'm saying anyways, right?
Well,
but I'm just saying.
well,
But I'm saying.
Yeah.
This is where choice comes in.
Yeah.
I can hear their stories. They'll tell me, hey, I came down from Trois-Rivières.
Yeah.
I left my mom's house or my parents' house.
Yeah.
You know, they were well off. Again, they're not examples I'm throwing in the wind. Like, they're people I've met.
Yeah.
Given sandwiches to hot coffee and spoke with them, you know, for 30 minutes, an hour. Some of them part of the organization I was at the time with Mono.
Yeah.
Who now works at I can get that another time. Anyways, with the work we were doing on the streets, they would tell us, yeah, I came from this family, which was his parents were well off.
Yeah.
Well, like good money.
Yeah, he chose.
He chose like, no, I don't want to live this way. I don't like this.
Yeah.
And usually people migrate towards Montreal.
Yeah.
Metropolitan.
Metropolitan.
Come down to Montreal, and then they want to live that way. They're addicted to certain drugs, and some fall into prostitution, etc. We go deep, but there are choices involved in that.
Yeah. So drug addiction, mental illness. I put that in a separate category.
Right.
To be honest with you, mostly because I don't think I have any expertise to speak on those subjects. There's a lot of those people, and a lot of them, you know, I do not understand how those choices came to bear. I mean, I lived a very, very sheltered life as a kid. Even though I was exposed to certain things, I was exposed from a distance. Yeah. And by the way, this is something that I'd like to do with the kids. I'd like for them to do that, the sandwich, the homeless people thing. I'd like for them to see that, not because I want to scare them straight, but more because I want them to be grateful. I want to teach them a little bit of gratefulness. You know, have a good slice of humble pie. Yeah. You know,
and it works like making them grow with having compassion.
Yeah. Compassion is important. You know, I think I told you the story of the janitor at Williams School.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, to me, it's very important to have respect for every living human. No matter what their situation is, and even though I may not agree with some people's choices, right? I still respect them. I still respect everybody's choice to do whichever they decide with their own lives. So long as it does not encroach on my freedom, I think everybody should, you know, keep the right to do with their life what they choose. But the magical word here is with their lives, right? The magical word is with their lives. As soon as you start encroaching on other people's lives, I'm sorry, Holmes. Like, you gotta go.
Gots to go.
Yeah.
We just hit the hour mark.
We just hit the 1 hour mark.
Awesome.
I think we kind of went around and talked about a lot of different things and covered a lot of different subjects.
It's good to be back.
It's good to be back. Thank you very much for being back with us. Thank you for your time, your very, very precious time. We hope to be entertaining a little bit. I don't think we know everything about what it is we're talking about. If we say something that's wrong, please correct us. If you disagree with what we're saying, please mention it. I would love to be proven wrong. Actually, that's what I enjoy most, learning. So thank you very much. It is this episode is brought to you by Hostel.
It's tough to say in English because it's hostile.
Hostile.
But it does say hostile.
Hostile?
Hostile. It sounds like hostile. But it's hostile. Yes, that's the media company I'm building.
Yeah.
Basically, we're helping out youth with everything arts related, whether it be music, video, visual, audio, writing, poetry, no choice. I'm putting some skits. I'm putting some more content with my kids there also, and I'm sharing a lot of the stuff that a lot of the artists and people I'm touched or connected with. Whether it's stuff they're building and I want to show and prove it to you guys. It's basically the trampoline platform to put things towards you guys. I'm probably going to show what we do here also at the Father of Three. So be checking it out. I'll write it at the bottom just in case you haven't seen it.
It'll be in the description for sure.
Hostile.ca.
Yes. So thank you very much. If you enjoy this, please share it with your friends. You can subscribe. You can follow us on. Right now we're everywhere. We're on iTunes, SoundCloud. We're on YouTube. We're on Facebook. We read absolutely every comment and we respond to everything in a timely fashion. So if you have questions, if you have comments, if you want to say that you hate what we said, please go ahead.
Go.
I would love to have a conversation. So it's Father of Three.
Peace.